And while the death toll is rising, another set of figures is shrinking. That's China's economy. It has contracted by 6.8%, the first time in more than 40 years. This drop came in the first 3 months of 2020. The last time something like this was seen was in the year 1976. The fall truly ends China's golden era of economic growth. And this has been a pretty long run. The Chinese economy, we can tell you, survived the Tiananmen Square crackdown, the SARS epidemic, the global financial crisis of 2008. Why just survive? China continued to grow. Not this time, though. The made in China virus has been the unmaking of China's economy. The coronavirus has halted China's economic juggernaut.
We can see that the domestic epidemic has been well controlled, but the development overseas has imposed a systematic impact on us. The whole country has once again tightened up the controlling measures, especially in large cities such as Beijing. This will have a continuous impact on the economy. Therefore, I don't think we will see a real recovery until the fourth quarter or the end of the year.
China doesn't see a real recovery until the end of this year. The huge decline wipes out a 6% expansion. Around the same time last year, China's growth rate was 6.4%. The months ahead are going to be tough.
In 2003, the economy was in a rising channel, so the recovery was very quick after a short period of fluctuation. Now, even without the epidemic, the economy was under downward pressure. This epidemic has amplified the problems, so the recovery pace will be much slower than in 2003.
That was an expert from Beijing. The SARS outbreak happened in 2003. It caused some fluctuation in China's economy. But the Wuhan virus is causing more than a fluctuation. It has blown a fuse. Bouncing back from this is going to be much harder. Not just because of the slowdown in economic activity at home, but also because of the new challengers in the global market. Japan is one of them. The Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, has announced plans to build an economy that is not dependent on China. His economic relief package sends the same message. Japan is ready to spend a little more than $2 billion to start with. The fund will be given to Japanese businesses who are ready to move back from China. Another $215 million will be made available to those who want to move to other countries. Such proposals are worrying China. A report in the Nikkei Asian Review says that a quote-unquote heated debate is underway in China's political circles. Leaders of the Communist Party in Beijing are concerned. They are worried about companies withdrawing from China. Soon after Japan announced its plans, the Chinese leadership went into a huddle. President Xi Jinping called a meeting, and not just any other meeting. He met with his fellow members of the Politburo Standing Committee. This is the highest decision-making body of China, the Politburo Standing Committee. It's a group of 7 men, yes, only men, who control the destiny of China. Reports say that Xi Jinping instructed the group to be prepared for the worst. The Politburo Standing Committee usually meets once a week, but the agenda or the content of internal discussions rarely comes out. This meeting was an exception, because this time a press release was issued. The Chinese state media reported that the Standing Committee had, quote-unquote, analyzed the COVID-19 situation and the economic performance at home and abroad. Clearly, economy is weighing on the mind of Xi Jinping. Perhaps astrology, too. This is interesting. According to Chinese astrology, the year of the metal rat is weighing heavily on China's fortunes. Plus, there's history. Every time the year of the metal rat rolls, a major incident takes place, or so the Chinese say. The local press has detailed reports on this. I'm not inclined to dwell on astrology, so we will focus on the trends here. Global markets are bleeding. The world's appetite for Chinese goods has reduced. This means a two-pronged challenge for Beijing. First, bring the factories back on track, resume normal business activity, and second, keep the businessmen in China, prevent them from leaving. How will they do it? China has a 5-letter solution to most problems: money. This time too, Beijing is ready to whip out the checkbook. China has signaled that a significant economic stimulus is on its way. It looks like China wants to spend its way out of the crisis. What about the rest of the world? They too will have to shell out to revive the economy. Perhaps It's time for world leaders to start sending their bills to Beijing.